I know, I stuffed things up.
Yes, you did. And you can't ring me and leave 5 messages for me at the office.
I didn't want to leave messages. I thought you'd be there. It was after 5.
No, I didn't go back yesterday after court. I just got changed and went to the gym. Bit of a swim, bike, treadmill. Not that I need to explain that to you.
What's new in the sex crimes unit?
Timothy Clark took his computer in for repairs. Bingo. These are all found 100 folders deep.
This is Vasilich. We have a warrant for your arrest for the murder of Stephen James Blakely. Forensics rechecked Vasilich's jacket. They had a look inside the pockets and they found blood. Dry cleaning hadn't got it.
Blakely's blood.
One of my accused wants to confess, but he won't talk to me.
One of the bikies?
Yes, Toby Franzen.
Diane Vasilich. So she'd been trying to get this bloke to tell her for ages who had knocked off her daughter. I said, fair enough, who is he? And she says it's Steve Blakely.
You got a good lawyer?
Now, what makes a good lawyer, I wonder?
How do you find the defendant, Diane Vasilich?
Guilty.
Well, I'm down near Gerringong.
Why?
Because a bushwalker just found Stephen Blakely's body. So Diane and Brian didn't throw him off Northhead. In fact, given the time it takes to get here, they weren't even the ones who buried him.
Mrs. Vasilich, your daughter was by all accounts exceptionally beautiful and vivacious, yes? So why did she turn to prostitution? There was a complete estrangement for 2 years and then suddenly she was dead. Well, I put it to you that you had to find who'd killed her, otherwise you could only blame yourself.
I just wanted justice, all
No,
right?
you desperately needed someone to get you off the hook. That's why it became obsessive, wasn't it? Because it wasn't just a frustration with the lack of justice, it was a mother's guilt.
That's a lie. I wasn't obsessive and I didn't hate anyone. I just wanted justice for Ariana.
On the count of murder, how do you find the defendant, Diane Vasilich?
Guilty.
My client is an innocent woman, a victim of a system which favours quick results over the truth. She and her son have been imprisoned for a crime they did not commit, and the discovery of Stephen Blakely's body only confirms what they've been saying from the start of this debacle. Once again, we see the danger of Crown prosecutors being overly persuasive and unnecessarily adversarial in court. Janet King's gung-ho approach in this trial has caused a serious miscarriage of justice. Perhaps if the DPP and the police were not quite so hand-in-hand, we might have a more balanced criminal justice system, not one which favours the prosecution, and certainly not one which results in the jailing of the innocent.
That doesn't change anything. The Vasilich woman still killed him.
Are you serious? We stuffed up. She should never have been convicted.
She could have organised someone to bury him.
So now she's a criminal mastermind.
Or she hired someone to rough him up. I'm sure she could plan his murder.
Okay, let's say she did plan the whole thing. Why wouldn't you pay someone to kill him? Why tackle a big man like that yourself? Burying's the easy bit.
I don't know, self-satisfaction?
This is exactly why we should have waited. You push us into running this, it goes off the rails, and we're the ones who cop it.
Nothing's gone off the rails. We have a convicted murderer and her accomplice in prison.
Yeah, we can't be sure of that anymore.
What are you saying? She walks into Blakely's house, disturbs the murderer. While he hides, she puts her hand in his blood and then leaves? That's your version of events?
So who buried him?
I have no idea.
Enough! We are all in the shit here.
There's no way the Vasiliches could have buried the body.
That's impossible. They couldn't have made it back to the hospital in time. Someone else buried the body.
Well, unless someone else killed him and buried him.
Unlikely.
Oh, well, keeping an open mind,
You
then,
know
eh?
she's guilty. Come on. It's only one detail at the end that's changed.
So where did Diane and her son go then, after they killed Blakely? I mean, if they're giving themselves an alibi by going to the hospital, why not go straight there?
They drove Blakely's car with the body in it to the guy who was going to bury him. And they told that guy to leave the car at Northhead when he was done.
Why not take the gravedigger with you? Isn't that easier? Wouldn't you plan it that way?
Could be half a dozen different ways it happened.
And there's your reasonable doubt right there.
You find this third man or Diane and her son will walk.
They've already started crawling out of the woodwork.
No surprise. Every criminal's dog going to be putting up their hand for this one. After the deal, we got our bikie friend Franzen.
Waste of time and resources we don't have.
You never know what the tide might wash up.
I'll see you back there. I'm hoping our third man left his business card in the grave along with the murder weapon.
As you can see, bashed in the back of the head with something heavy. 3 blows.
Attacked from behind, Cutlass.
Fell forwards, causing a depressed fracture of the cheek.
Any DNA, not his? Anything else you found that might help us identify who buried him?
Not so far. I'd say they were pretty careful.
Other injuries?
Nothing major. There are small, shallow lacerations on both feet across the soles. The dirt in them matches the dirt around the gravesite. What else? There's paint under his fingernails, in his hair, off-white, matte.
Yeah.
The paint is of a domestic type.
Just renovating. Place was chaos, stuff everywhere. Which accounts for the cricket bat they buried with him.
Solid murder weapon, a bit of weight behind it, handle. But the dirt in the lungs means he was still alive when he was buried. He wouldn't have known anything about it if it's any consolation. He would have died from the head wounds anyway. But the immediate cause of death was suffocation.
They buried him alive. Last time I was here, we had a chat about Diane.
Diane Vasilic, I remember.
You pointed out Toby Franzen. You pointed towards anyone else?
Hang on, it's not like I brokered that deal. I never thought she'd actually go and talk to him.
Did she ever ask about, anyone else?
She doesn't talk much. She's a bit of a fixture in here. Ever since Oriana was murdered. I guess this is the closest thing she has to Oriana's grave, A bit tragic, really, the whole thing. I mean, sometimes Diane brings flowers. Sometimes she just sits here and stares into space. On Oriana's birthday, every year, she totally writes herself off. And me, or whoever else is on, has to call her son to come and take her away. She was all right, Oriana. A bit messed up with the drugs, but, she always came and said hello. And through all the crap, you could see she was well brought up.
And you never saw Diane talking to anyone else other than Franzen?
No.
Did you see her or her son on the night of the 9th of October?
No idea.
You got CCTV in the car park?
Suppose you'd be wanting a look.
You got some time to help me go over my application today?
You still want to train up to be a Crown after all this?
Yes, I think so. No, I do. Even if there are weeks like this, I really like appearance work, and solicitor advocate's the next logical step. What? You're not doubting what we do, are you?
Are you kidding? Tim Clark, my child porn man. Will the jury look at him and see him for the monster that he is? Or will they think, we've all looked at stuff we shouldn't have? He's just like us. He wasn't the one actually causing the suffering.
He does look normal, whatever that means.
So many of the photos he's got are taken with hidden cameras. Imagine what it would be like to find out that men all over the world are watching you get undressed or raped. Your photos could be out there for the rest of your life. Someone could walk past you in the street and recognize you as that girl. What would that do to you? Or think about those abuse victims who are too embarrassed to tell anyone what happened, and then a video of your abuse goes viral.
I haven't ever thought about it like that. That's all I think about.
Excuse me, sir.
Hey, what'd you get from the Lionsgate?
Nothing the night of the 9th. There's no DVD labelled with that date, so either they're crap at labelling or...
Someone's taken the footage from that night. Why didn't you call me?
Because I went back to the Lionsgate. I checked out the shop next door. I think the owner would be very happy for us to find something criminal going on. He's not what you'd call a fan. He's got a camera on the car park as well. DVD of the 9th.
That's Blakely's car. It's the wrong time of day. What the hell is he doing? That's Blakely. Can you freeze that for me? And just, yeah, getting a bit closer, yeah. Danny Novak. Car park of the Lionsgate Hotel, 4:30 p.m. Blakely must have driven there straight after court.
Blakely and Novak?
They argue for about 5 minutes. Then Blakely gets in his car and he drives away. 4 hours later, Blakely is dead. Blakely pulled this file out 2 days before he died. He was going to reopen the investigation. Oriana Vasilic. This is the hotel room where she was killed.
Did Blakely have a suspect?
According to his notes, he knew exactly who it was. He just couldn't prove it.
Danny Novak.
Owner of the Lionsgate.
So Blakely calls him up, tells him he's going to reopen the investigation and go after him.
Once it's in the system, it doesn't matter if Blakely's behind bars.
Novak employed Oriana and used her to sweeten business deals. I mean, she knew a lot about things she shouldn't have, and if he felt like he couldn't trust her anymore...
Bye-bye, Oriana.
But it's still just a theory, right? There wasn't any proof that Novak was involved. It's just supposition.
DNA tests prove a lot more these days. Who knows what they might find.
Pretty good motive for a murder.
So Diane Vasilic didn't kill Blakely?
We will continue looking for our third man, but we'll divert some resources to Novak. Surveillance, listening devices, phone taps, the whole lot.
Excuse me.
Watch it.
Sorry.
Hey, I'm heading home. Are you ready to go?
No, not yet. I'll be here for hours. Will you be okay getting home?
Oh, I'll find someone to protect me. What I should do is stop panicking every time I hear a motorbike.
Look, I'll walk you and come back.
No, I'm good. Stay.
Andy, hi. Look, I'm still at the office, so I'll just grab a piece of toast when I get in. Promise I won't work too hard. Look, I've got to go. I'll speak to you soon.
came.
I've decided it takes too much energy to keep ignoring you. Right, well, you wanted to talk, so talk. We can talk about what happened and what went wrong and how we feel, but it isn't going to change my mind.
I don't know whether it's a good idea for you to be staying with Danny while you're here. Your father's not exactly popular with the police, and I was just thinking that maybe it's better for your career, now that you're not living in Sydney, to really distance yourself from him.
So, you wanted to talk to me about where I'm staying?
Your career's really taking off. That's all. I just hate for all of your hard work to be undone by something like guilt by association. Well, not guilt, definitely not guilt, but, you know.
What have you heard?
Nothing.
You've heard something about Dad?
Nothing.
I don't believe you.
But as long as you're staying there, I can never come and see you.
Thanks for the drink.
Don't worry about it, Princess. It's just like issuing parking tickets. They need to get their numbers up, so they drop in and see me.
What are they looking for?
Oh, entertainment?
No, I'm serious, Dad. What was on the warrant? Can I look at it?
Well, they waved it in front of me, but they didn't leave it. So it's nothing important. Trust me.
No, Dad, that wasn't just a casual thing. They took away your computers. What else did they take?
I don't know. Nothing.
The warrant has to state what they're investigating you for.
Well, the easiest thing to do is just cooperate, isn't it? Be polite. It's the best way to show them you've got nothing to hide, which I don't. Okay?
Okay.
Really okay?
Yeah.
Good. You eating?
Amanda, hi.
Oh, hi, Janet.
Are you,
Ash had to nip out for a bit. She asked me if I could stay on.
Oh, right, okay. Hello, sweeties. Hello, my little one.
How's work?
Usual. Have you been creating havoc today? Huh? Who's up for a bath? Want to have a bath?
They've actually had a bath.
Oh. Oh, good. Thank you.
I didn't know how long you'd be.
Right. No, that's fine. I'm happy to take over now, if that's okay.
Okay. Thanks. See you, thing one. And see you, thing two. I'm introducing them to Dr. Zeus.
Oh, fun.
See you.
Bye. Well, don't look at me. Mary Poppins is the one running the show now. Hi, Dee's mum.
Thought I'd make it home before you.
Surprise.
Did you see Amanda?
Yeah.
Is she great with them?
Where have you been? You look all zhuzhed up.
Had to grab something up the road. I was sick of them always seeing me in my housefrau outfit. Pasta okay?
Sure.
Raid last night, chat this morning. I'm flattered.
Night of Wednesday, October 9th. What were you doing?
At home, I guess. That's where I spend my nights. It's boring, I know.
Anyone verify that?
I can. I'll check in my diary, I'll get back to you.
So what'd you do at home that night?
Well, I probably cooked and watched TV. It's hard to remember specifically.
If you're in the vicinity of Stephen Blakely's house, we'll find out. We'll track where your mobile was through, transmission tower records. We're also going to subpoena your phone records for the last 2 months, so if you've got anything to say, it's probably best that you say it now.
Nothing to say.
And tell me what's going on here.
Disagreement over a car park.
4 hours later, Blakely's dead. You're the last person seen with him and you're arguing. That's not a good look, is it? So why don't you cut the crap?
I didn't kill him.
He was a friend of mine.
My condolences.
Whether you did it yourself or you paid some arsehole to do it for you, we're going to find out. That's a promise.
Richard! What are they looking at Dad for?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. You gave me some bullshit story about moving out of the house, and then I go home and find the cops raiding the place.
What did Danny say?
Oh, tell me, Richard.
I'm not supposed to be talking to you about this.
It's a bit late for a crisis of conscience now, isn't it?
He's a suspect in the murder of Stephen Blakely.
A murder suspect?
I didn't want to say anything.
Why would he want to kill Stephen Blakely?
Because they think he killed Diane Vasilich's daughter, Oriana.
That is such bullshit.
Blakely and Novak argue on the afternoon of Blakely's death. Blakely dies before he can reopen a case in which Novak is the prime suspect. That can't be a coincidence.
Novak always knew Steve was going to reopen the case.
Well, reasonable assumption, that's what the argument is about.
Reasonable assumptions don't stand up in court. And all we need to do is find something tying him to the murder. And if not him, then his lackey. At the moment, the only person we knew was definitely there, besides Blakely, was Diane Vasilich.
I know, but we have
I know,
to
we all
push
want to get Novak. I can appreciate that. But the next time we go into court on this case, whatever we have, whoever it is, I want to be rock fucking solid. All right?
Excuse me, sir. Sorry to interrupt. There's a Tatum Novak here to see you, Andy. Said you'd know what it's about.
Tatum. Hi.
Hi, Andy.
Hey. I hear you're down in Canberra now.
Yeah, with the Commonwealth.
Yeah. You get to do all that big international stuff, all the trafficking, drugs, people.
Those things sound more glamorous than they actually are, I think.
Tell me about it. So, you'll hear about...
Stephen Blakely's disappearance. I want to make a formal statement.
You sure about this?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Come through this way.
Hey, how'd you go last night? Last night? Yeah, did you get all the work done you wanted?
Oh, yeah, almost. Never ending. You know how it is.
I know, and I've got this solicitor advocate interview on top of everything else.
Don't wait.
Oh, okay. I'll see you in there.
Place runs on coffee.
Hi, the usual thanks.
Sure, Black.
The cops won't give out information about number plates to us, will they?
You want something like that, Trace, aren't you married to the right guy? Or you could ask an ex-police prosecutor who might still be able to pull a favour or two and keep his mouth shut.
Maybe I could.
Anyone feel like doing any work today, Lena? Perhaps a table in the corner for the overflow.
I don't want overflow. I don't want any of it.
Well, I don't believe choice is involved. If you are not coping, you need to ask for assistance.
I'm coping.
We take occupational health and safety very seriously here.
Oh, that makes me feel better already.
Have you made your appointment yet? Counselling is compulsory for all solicitors in the sex crimes unit.
I haven't, no.
Counselling is not to be underestimated. It is a powerful tool which can provide you with practical mechanisms for coping. Accepting counselling is not an admission of weakness. It's simply taking responsibility for yourself and your work.
So do you?
I don't need it. I thought you might be reluctant. Appointment, 5 o'clock.
How'd you go?
She says Danny was home all night, didn't even make a phone call.
She's a lawyer, right?
Yeah, come on, DPP.
She wouldn't want to fuck up her career.
We should keep the pressure on him.
There's someone here I'd like you to have a talk to.
Brian Vincent turned up at my place with a fistful of cash, asked me to do him a favour.
Which was?
He had something in the boot of this car. It was wrapped in one of those painting sheets, you know, the ones you use to stop shit getting everywhere. Yeah. He wanted it buried. I took it down at Gerringong. I dug a hole, chucked it in, along with the bat. Then I drove the car back to North Head, and then I went home and I had a beer.
Thought we should bring you up to date.
Found us the third man.
Not quite.
Ah, he's been coy. Go on.
We've interviewed Danny Novak, who, of course, he denies everything.
And his daughter's got an alibi for him on that night?
The night that Blakely died?
What other night?
Just clarifying.
Now, out of all the crims who have come forward looking for a deal, we have this bloke, Leon Cranford.
It was a big ball drive. Took it down to Gerringong, dug a hole, chucked it in along with the bat. Then I drove the car back to North Head. And I went home and had a beer.
Now, there's another 40 minutes of it, but that's a juicy bit.
So, Danny's out of the picture then?
Well, Danny argued with Blakely 4 hours before he died. He's still in our sights.
Now, we have to test this guy's story, but he seems to know things that we never made public. Like the drop cloth, the exact burial site, the weapon.
How does he know Diane Vasilich?
Well, he knows Brian. He says they were drinking buddies down at the Lionsgate.
Well, what's he want? I assume he's not chatting out of the goodness of his heart.
Yeah, he's currently on bail for dealing meth.
Not much goodness of heart there.
He wants those charges dropped and a guarantee of a year for being the gravedigger.
A year?
For taking part in the murder of an assistant police commissioner.
He didn't kill him.
Sorry, accessory after the fact is still an accessory, and he might have killed him.
There's no evidence tying him to the murder scene.
Diane Vasilich seems to have cornered that market. Well, you're the one who said she wasn't a criminal mastermind. This guy's story fits. They turned up at his doorstep on the night of the murder, all panicked, with a body in the boot. He's got form, needs cash. It's a win-win situation.
Could have heard it anywhere, down at the Lionsgate Hotel on the street.
Yeah, well, that's why we're not charging him now and why we're still watching Novak.
Now, if we test Cranford and he proves to be on the level, he's not going to swear to anything unless we promise him that deal.
We need to start thinking about this appeal.
Vasilich?
Ned Kelly, yes, Vasilich.
You don't think Cranford will prove to be the third man?
I think there'll be an appeal.
Diane didn't do it.
I don't know.
Well, but not if Cranford is...
Look, there are a lot of ifs, and one of them leads to an appeal. So if we're forced to run that, I prefer it wasn't a rush job like everything else, all right? Grab a tea and we'll get started.
Sorry, do you mind? I have an appointment. Just give me half an hour. What the hell, Tatum?
Let go of me!
You lied to the police.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Bullshit. I saw you the day after, the day that Blakely disappeared. You told me you didn't go home the night before. You went to the gym, swim, bike, treadmill, remember?
That was weeks ago. You've got your days mixed up.
I don't. It's me. I remember everything. I can tell you which earrings you're wearing, which suits, the exact time of our conversation.
Oh, you make things so hard. I didn't lie to the police. I lied to you, okay? I didn't want you to know my schedule, what time I go home.
Well, they're still looking at Danny. If they find anything to tie him to that crime scene or that he ordered someone else to do it, your career is sunk. You think about that.
You better think about the fact that you gave me confidential information about a police investigation.
What, so now you're blackmailing me?
I am just telling you that you don't have the moral high ground here.
I haven't perverted the course of justice.
Yes, you have.
Did you cop a truckload of work from our lady of the schedule?
Yep.
Want something to take your mind off it?
I could do with some cheering.
I didn't say to cheer you up. You seriously need to think about getting this Clark guy off the streets. He's a bad man.
You found something for the number plates.
I asked a mate who asked a mate who asked a mate.
So you get the benefit of the lawyer network and the cop network.
Grabbed a lot of shit from both sides too.
Tim Clark, previously known as Tim Cunningham, convicted of the rape of a 14-year-old in Adelaide, served 8 years.
Told you it wasn't cheering.
I can't use this.
You want to rethink slipping a photo of a 6-year-old into his file?
No, I can't. I can't.
Oh, really? Conscience. This from the woman who knows he drives a car with South Australian plates. I bet that information's not in the file.
Why are you still here? Your appointment's in 20 minutes. Go, go.
Oh, no, I'll reschedule.
Bye.
She'll feel better for it.
You're uncomfortable being here?
I'm only here because it's compulsory.
I'll explain what I'll do and what we'll do together. That might make things easier, okay? Sometimes people who do the sort of work you do experience traumatic stress disorder. Although you yourself haven't suffered abuse, the work you do exposes you to the stress of witnessing the horrors. It's important to distinguish between a normal response to witnessing a traumatic event and something which becomes abnormal. It's completely normal to feel anxious and fearful, to have bad dreams, to not be able to stop thinking about what you've seen, heard, or experienced, to become obsessive. The problems arise when you get stuck in that psychological state. Have you experienced any of these responses since working in the sex crimes unit?
No.
You haven't behaved in a way which is outside the realm of your usual behaviour. Something that made you stop and think, I don't know who just did that.
Never.
You're not drinking more? Using drugs? Avoiding sex? Fighting with your husband over small issues? Do you always shut down like this when things get too difficult?
I don't know what you mean.
It must put a strain on your marriage. This distancing, this refusal to admit what's happening.
My marriage is none of your business.
Your emotional and psychological health is my business. Knowing how you function in your marriage is part of that.
I'm here to discuss work.
I'm not judging you, Lena.
No, you're talking to me like I'm a child.
Tell me about your work then.
What do you want to know?
Do you find it satisfying? Do you feel like you're making a difference?
Things only get to my desk when the damage is done. I can't make any difference at all. I'm completely impotent. Oh, that's a good Freudian term for you. Why don't you write that one down? Oh, Lena also has anger issues, probably stemming from the fraught relationship she has with her father. How am I doing?
I'll cook tonight. I was thinking spag bowl.
Won't say no.
Andy Campbell talked to me yesterday.
What about?
He was asking about the 9th of October, the night that Stephen Blakely disappeared. That was the night that we watched that English Premier League soccer game, remember? We ate pad thai. I couldn't forget that night. You were busy trying to teach me the finer points of soccer while I was choking from too much chilli.
Well, I warned you about the killer sauce.
And you bought that disgusting Thai beer.
You still drank it.
Yeah, because I was dying of chili poisoning.
I think you were trying to get your head around the offside rule. Too busy watching the players, I think.
They do have great legs. But it's a boring game.
Which is why I made you watch another match that I'd pre-recorded.
Yeah. And you kept me up so late I could barely stay awake at court the next day. It was a good night.
Yes, Princess, it was.
I better head off.
I'll walk you to your car. I'm very proud of you. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
You're smart, but you've worked hard. Your colleagues respect you and what you do.
Oh, I think they do. I hope so.
And respect's very important. It takes a lot to earn it, and it can go just as fast. And it goes for self-respect as well. Don't fuck up what you've got by getting involved in things that don't concern you.
I know.
No, you don't. That's why I'm telling you. Don't interfere.
Dad, I'm sorry. I was just trying
It's okay. It's all right. Nothing more to say. Okay?
Did you know Oriana Vasilic?
Who?
Diane Vasilic's daughter, the one who was murdered.
I've never heard of her. Now, if you want to keep that job in Canberra, you better get down there and do some work, eh? This Canberra thing, moving down there, it had nothing to do with that Richard character, did it? He didn't mess you around or hurt you around.
Oh, no. Nothing like that. It was a good offer and a great career move. It worked out really well. Except I don't get to see you as much.
I love you, sweetheart.
You too.
I'm off, Amanda. Thanks for tonight, too.
It's a pleasure.
Janet King speaking.
Hi, it's me.
Hey, whose phone are you calling from?
Jennifer's. I left mine at home. Hey, can you do me a favour? I need to drop in on Danielle from Mother's Group on the way home, and I totally forgot to bring her address.
I can't. I'm right on my computer, and I need to grab it before she leaves for work. Sorry. Well, maybe you should take your phone with you. All right, here it is. Laptop. What do you need?
It's mail from Danielle Rowe. Came yesterday.
Danielle Rowe. Hang on. Here it is. Address 108 Cartwright Street.
Thank you. That's great.
May I go to work now?
Of course.
I'll see you tonight.
See you then.
Good morning.
Not necessarily.
Tony's waiting for you in his office. Detective Campbell is with him. Maybe that will brighten your day.
Doubt it. Hey.
At last. What do you have for us?
Okay, we found this last night under the Douglas Park Bridge, exactly where Cranford said it'd be.
Fingerprints?
Mud and water were unlikely to be able to lift anything useful. We're still checking for DNA, but that's unlikely too. There's some dirt we found lodged underneath the metal hand grip that comes from the same area we found Blakely's body.
Well, this spade was definitely used to bury him then.
Yes.
But you don't know who handled it?
Well, I'd say the bloke who told us where it was buried is the guy who handled it, wouldn't you?
Not necessarily.
Lucky guess by Cranford, was it?
Someone else might have told him.
We've confirmed he drinks at the Lionsgate Hotel. We know both Diane Vasilic and Brian Vincent have been there on many occasions.
They had time to go from Blakely's place to Cranford's, drop the car and the body there and get back to the hospital by 8:21 to be caught on the CCTV.
Now, he told us about the burial site, the murder weapon, and where the spade was buried.
None of those facts were known by the public. We also found $5,000 in cash hidden in a biscuit tin in his kitchen.
He's a saver.
He's an accessory to murder, and we're charging him. And we're also going to give him the deal he wants.
Unless anyone has any objections.
We're being pushed around again.
Well, I prefer to think of it as being cooperative.
You seriously want to give Cranford that sort of deal?
What, you think they should charge him and have him plead not guilty?
Why not? Test his story in court.
And risk him being acquitted?
Well, if there's enough doubt surrounding his story, he should be acquitted.
He wants to plead.
He wants a deal.
Why, you think he didn't bury Blakely?
He could have overheard someone bragging. Maybe he was paid to take the fall. Maybe he killed Blakely himself.
You see, this is guilt speaking. Your guilt. You're terrified we've made some sort of mistake with Diane Vasilic, and you're desperately trying to find proof of that. You didn't convict her. The jury did.
I know how the system works.
Well, we can't let emotions cloud our judgments.
By we, you mean me. I'm too soft now, am I? Mother of young children, is that what you're saying? Because it's bullshit. I'm still one of the best prosecutors in this place, and if I have a feeling about Diane Vasilic, it's not hormonal, it's intuitive, and that is a product of years of hard work.
Well, wrap your intuition around this. Occam's razor. Diane Vasilic killed Blakely. She had motive. She had his blood in her pocket. She called her son Brian for help. We know Brian has a connection with Cranford. Cranford admits to burying the body and the bat, and he knew details about the burial that only the police knew. Now, you can forget everything else. Forget double-guessing yourself. There was a question raised by the discovery of the body, and that question has been answered, has it not?
There are a number of possible answers.
Well, this particular answer is not beyond all doubt, but it is beyond reasonable doubt, I believe, and that is why we will accept Cranford's plea and we will recommend the sentence as suggested by the police. Yes?
Yes.
Thank Christ for that.
This afternoon, we arrested and charged the man, Leon Cranford, in connection to the murder of Assistant Commissioner Steve Blakely. The man has been very cooperative with police and will be appearing in court shortly, where he will plead guilty to disposing of the body of Steve Blakely in a shallow grave near Gerringong.
Good result,
Is it?
isn't it?
Because the police got it wrong about Danny Novak.
Well, no, because we got it right about Diane and her son. Have a good night.
Hey, Ash. Sorry, yeah, I'm still at work. Look, I'll have to meet you there, okay? Thanks. Bye.
Should we be worried we haven't heard anything from Amanda?
No. You want me to text her?
Yes. Then I don't look like the over-anxious one. I thought you'd be relieved now that the Blakely thing is finally sorted.
I am.
You don't seem relieved.
Are you relieved to have a job offer? Thank you.
Thank you. I was going to tell you.
You said you weren't going to pursue it.
I did, but they wouldn't take no for an answer.
That's why you were late that night, wasn't it? Out of your housefrau clothes.
That was just a preliminary chat.
That makes it all right.
I was going to tell you.
When? The day you started?
It's not an offer. I still have to go through an interview.
Yeah, Wednesday the 30th. I know, I saw the email.
You read my private messages.
You told me look in your mail, and there it was.
You didn't have to read them.
You didn't have to have a
You always have to
preliminary chat
control
behind my
everything.
back. We had a deal. You were staying home full-time with the kids, and now you're not. Don't you think that's worth discussing?
I didn't want to discuss it because I knew you'd be like this.
What? Betrayed?
I haven't betrayed you.
What, lying's not a betrayal?
God, you're always so fucking perfect.
Don't you put it back on me.
You're so tied up with your work, you don't see what's going on around you anymore. You don't see me. Not anymore. I'm gonna go pay.
Hey, ready to send Harry Lime away for a long time?
Harry Lime?
Third man, Carol Reed. Don't worry about it. You okay?
Fine, just tired.
Kids must be exhausting.
Do you think I'm too controlling?
I don't
Because
think
someone
I'm
has
the
to be
right
in
person to
control,
get-
otherwise nothing gets done. I mean, there's a big difference between being in control and being controlled.
Sure.
Do you feel like you have enough autonomy working with me?
Tons.
Approachable?
Always.
Helpful?
Definitely.
Yeah.
We should get going.
Yeah.
Mr. Cranford, can you describe to Her Honor your family situation?
I'm on a disability pension. I had a car accident and broke my leg. It was just not good. In a lot of pain, too much pain at work. The drugs, the painkillers are really expensive. My wife and I have 2 kids. They're both at school. She is unemployed. She was made redundant. She hasn't worked for a couple of years. And half the time we're fed by the salvos.
And what do you have to say about your recent conviction for drug charges? Surely that criminal endeavour provided some profit?
It was a once-off and I got done.
I see.
Look, when Brian came around and offered me some work, I was desperate. For money. For my kids. It's the only reason I done it. And I'm sorry. I realised it was a dumbass thing to do.
Thank you, Mr. Cranford.
Madam Crown?
Thank you, Your Honour. Mr. Cranford, you describe yourself as a good family man,
I am,
doing your utmost to take care of your kids.
of course.
Everything you do in life is designed around what's best for your children,
Absolutely.
such as dealing drugs, burying dead bodies.
I was desperate.
Not much of an example to
Objection.
set them.
I...
Withdraw that remark. And now you're sorry.
Yes.
Well, if you're so sorry, why didn't you confess to the police immediately?
Because I was scared.
You waited until you thought you might get a deal.
So I could be around for my kids more.
How much do you make burying a dead body? Do you charge by the hour? I mean, did you have to provide your own space?
Your
'Cause
Honour,
you could
my
get extra
client
for
is
that.
being harassed.
Your Honour, characterising the burying of what you know to be a dead body as the act of a man desperate to provide for his children is contemptuous of this court and of the law.
Hey?
Mr. Cranford, you willingly assisted in the burial of the body of a murdered man for the money.
I didn't help kill anybody.
It's a nonsense to say that you did it for your
No,
family.
all I did was dig a hole, chuck him and the baseball bat in it, and that's it.
I'm sorry. You chucked him and what into
The
the hole?
baseball bat.
Are you sure about that? Your Honour, in light of the defendant's recent response, I seek leave to enter a nolle prosequi in relation to the indictment currently before the court. A new indictment against Mr. Cranford, containing 1 count each of perjury and attempting to pervert the course of justice, will be filed in due course.
I object.
Madam Crown?
Stephen Blakely was murdered and buried with a cricket bat. A grey Nichols, to be precise, which Mr. Cranford would have known if he'd buried him, which he most clearly did not.
Your Honour, this is outrageous.
I will stand this case down until tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, at which time I want clear submissions on what has happened here today from both counsel.
That was a gift. Whoever put him up to it should ask for their money back.
This is insane. What is it with you in this case? The guy was working. It was pitch black. He didn't have a torch, and he made a mistake.
Even in the dark, there's a big difference between a baseball bat and a cricket bat.
You were there, were you? Why the fuck didn't you ask him what sort of bat it was?
Jack, this is never ending.
We will finish this, okay? I promise. Come on, let me buy you guys a coffee.
Do you think Cranford will talk?
Well, he's looking at serious time for perjury. That might help persuade him. Depends on how much money he was paid and how scared he is. But while we're leaning on him, we're working from the opposite direction. Novak won't know what hit him.
Danny, I thought he'd been ruled out.
Cranford either overheard something or he was paid to lie. Novak is going to be at the other end of one of those scenarios.
hell away from her.
What the hell?
I will not let you
Are you
hurt her.
right?
I know who you are and what you do.
What's your problem?
You're my problem. I know what you do with young girls. You rape them. That's what you did in Adelaide, isn't it? You're a filthy fucking rapist.
You're nuts, woman.
Don't worry.
Hey.
I'll look after you. Come with
You
me.
touch
Come
her
with me.
and I'll kill you.
You forced her into your car. I saw you.
Leave my dad alone.
You're freaking her out. I'm calling the cops. You're in the Blakely murder trial.
That's right.
The Vasilich family had nothing to do with that murder. And neither did I. The police are wasting their time harassing me about it. Blakely's murder's just a small part of it.
Small part of what?
If you want to sort this mess, ask yourself, how did Alex Moreno manage to get acquitted? Have a nice evening.
I don't want anyone to think this government has locked up an innocent person. Shut it down.
So if the police had done their job properly in the first place and found Blakely's body before they charged Diane Vasilich, we wouldn't be in this situation.
We're drowning in work and you're stalking Renmark.
Someone leaned on him. Something's wrong.
The government has appointed recently retired Judge Granville Renmark to inquire into the functioning of the office of the DPP.
How dare you invade the privacy of my home?
As a Crown Prosecutor, you're held to the highest standards.
Just like a judge.
I tread very carefully if I were you, Miss King.